drawing all men to Jesus through the Word of God. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss a chapter. Salvation at the well. Jesus had heard a commotion concerning him and his cousin. They said that Jesus baptized more disciples than his cousin John, when in all actuality it was Jesus' disciples who were baptizing them. Jesus said, "I need to leave Galilee." As Jesus was on his journey, he became tired and needed to rest. Jesus noticed a perfect spot and said, "I will sit at this well." It was no coincidence that Jesus chose that location. He has a purpose in everything he says and does. At that very moment, this woman arrived at the well. Talk about divine connections. As the woman was getting ready to draw water from the well, Jesus said, "I'm thirsty. Can you give me something to drink?" The woman looked around and said, "You're asking a Samaritan to give you something to drink? You're a Jew. I'm sure you know that Jews have no dealings with Samaritans." Jesus answered her and said, "If you only knew who it was that was asking you to give drink, you would have done it with no hesitation." The woman said, "Well, I would get it for you, but you have nothing to draw with." Jesus replied, "Whoever drinks this water will thirst again. But if you drink from the water I will give you, you will never thirst again. This water will be in you like a well that is springing up rivers of living water." Then the woman said, "I would love to have this water." Jesus replied, "I need you to do something first. I need you to call your husband and tell him to come here." The woman replied, "Well, I have no husband." Jesus replied and said, "You have told the truth, for you have no husband, and the one you have now is not your husband." The woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you have insight. Are you a prophet? Our fathers worship in this mountain, Jerusalem. They say that's where we should worship too." Jesus replied, "Believe me, woman, the hour comes when the mountains or any other location is really not going to be that important. It's not where you worship, but it's how you worship. And the Father is looking for those that worship him in spirit and in truth." The woman said to him, "I heard about a Messiah coming, and his name is Christ, and he is to tell us all things." Jesus replied, "I am the one that you speak of." And in that moment, the woman marveled that Jesus would even take the time to speak to her. She went throughout her city shouting, "Come see a man who told me everything that I had ever done." Right then, a revival broke out. People who thirst after unfruitful things came to see Jesus. They too received their healing and deliverance. Listen, some of us at one point in our lives have longed or thirst after things so much so that it cost us our reputation, it cost us friendships, it cost us our families, etc. But that opportune moment, Jesus showed up and replaced that thirst with his living water. Never be ashamed to tell your story. Someone needs to know that no matter what you've done, Jesus will never reject you. He's waiting for your arrival. He's waiting to quench your thirst. Be blessed.